welcome back. It's been a few weeks and I'm sorry about that. We've had visitors, I haven't been very well, and it's just been too hot. So I have done a few things today which will follow on in this video, but I also did do a little bit of filming earlier in July, and this is what I got up to. Welcome to another vlog, and it's still hot, so apologies for the semi-naked state of me. I'm sweltering here. I'm just going to tell you about a few of the things that you can do in this kind of weather, which is this afternoon it's baking out there, 30 odd degrees, but this morning it was a little bit more pleasant, and so what I did was I lifted my onions and shallots, which I can then sort out this afternoon in a relatively cool breeze. Well, I'd say it's a hot breeze. It feels like I'm in a hair salon, I suppose. And also what I'm doing is I'm picking flowers that I can dry, ready for using them for Christmas wreaths and things like that. So yes, I've used the C word, very sorry. It's only July, but this is the time of year to start picking some of the flowers that will dry nicely, ready for your Christmas decorations. Other things you can be doing in July is continuing to sow your biennials, or at least ordering the seeds for your biennials. They really need to be sown no later than August for it then to be able to have enough growth over the later summer and into the autumn, and then have that cold stratification in the winter, which they really need, the little plants that develop from the seed sowing. So they need to be done ASAP. The other thing to be doing really is to be ordering your tulips, daffodils, camassias, muscari, all those sort of flowers that you want in the spring. You need to be getting your orders in. I've recently ordered mine. I managed to get an early bird 10% discount from the supplier that I use, which is, it helps, doesn't it? And so, yeah, that's the sort of things you should be doing also this time of year. One of the flowers that I am drying are these. These are Scabious stellata pincushion, or ping pong actually. These are actually called ping pong, and they develop these lovely spheres, which will be great for using in wreaths and things at Christmas. See the size of that one to my hand. They're quite a reasonable size, some of them, and they're very papery. I'm going to take off most of this foliage, just take it off, break it off, whatever, and then when you get a bunch a bit, oh gosh, I've got them all stuck together. When you get a bunch a bit like this, you tie them around with some string, and I'll show you how to do that, or how I do it. Basically, I get some string, some jute. I then double it over, put it underneath, feed it through. Sure it gets very taut, because all these will dry and become thinner and they will fall out of the string if you're not careful. So I just tend to do them like this. Put a knot in it, or two. Quite tight. Another knot there. And then at the very end, I put another knot at the top, so it'll hang to be able to dry off properly. There. And I'll show you the rest when I've done them all. So this is my makeshift drying rack. It's a rake on the back of a couple of chairs, and I'm going to be drying things like this stuttis, really pretty colours, some Achillea, smells lovely actually, and as you know, the Scabious stellata ping pong. Okay, so some of these here are the biennials that I was sowing back in June, and these are the Canterbury bells. These are they? Gypsophilia. These are both Sweet Williams. And then I've got some more Canterbury bells. These are actually ones that I sowed in January and I repotted again because they were looking a bit lackluster. So I repotted them back in June and they're starting to come on really nice. Then these ones are wallflowers called Ruby Gem. And these last ones here are, I think they're Honesty. Yes, Honesty. Some of them I'm going to repot because they are starting to get roots coming out the bottom and I just want to give them the best possible chance. So I'm going to do a bit of repotting of those and also some of these as well. The ones that haven't done so well in the back there are the foxgloves. So last week I re-sowed them and they're in here and they're starting to sprout. So fingers crossed we'll get some foxgloves as well. Another thing I'm going to repot today is this very tall curly willow. They need to be kept really moist, so you can imagine this summer it's been a nightmare trying to keep it moist, but I have put it in this rather large tub and just made sure that it gets a lot of water. But what I'm going to do is actually put it in another pot. I'm going to plant it in a bucket so that it will retain the water, and then I'll show you what I'm going to actually plant the bucket in. Some of the things that have done badly this year are the dahlias that I put in pots. They were taking so much water in and they were getting so many different bugs, black fly and things, and I just basically cut them down to the ground. You can see I haven't even bothered to water. It's pretty dry because, you know, water is precious at the moment, and so they're just going to have to go by the wayside this year. So to repot that willow, I'm going to use this really old bucket, and then it's going to go into this container which was given to me recently by some friends. So it's a big old cauldron thing, isn't it? But it does have a hole in the bottom which they've obviously used in the past to put a plant in, but I don't really want the water to come out of this. I need this willow to be always with wet feet, so that's why this bucket's going to go in here. It doesn't quite fit really, but it's the best I can do. Okay, there we go. It's in its pot in the bucket and it's been topped up with water, and now I'm going to top dress it with a load of gravel that I'll find on our drive. And then I've got a place to put it, so I'll show you that. So I've got this rather sad looking olive tree which has seen better days this year. It needs a rejuvenating prune and stuff, and because it's by our front door, I want to put something there that looks a little bit better. So I'm going to try this willow in its place. There we go, a bit of gravel in it, and I think that looks a lot healthier than the olive tree that was there. And just a quick update on the canners that I had mail order a couple of months ago. They're doing really well. In fact, I think they also need potting on now because there's a lot of new growth coming at the bottom, so I think I'll do that. So all in all, we continue to have heat waves here in France. Dreadful scenes down in the Bordeaux and other southern regions, well, and in the mid regions of France with fires, and even the firemen are losing their lives. It's pretty tragic, actually. Count our blessings here that although it's dry at the moment and we're not getting much rain, hardly anything. We did have a little bit today, a small amount, but it's not going to make any difference really. But the scenes in France over the last few weeks have been quite shocking, and my thoughts and Paul's go out to everybody and anybody that's been involved in that. Really sad. So as you can see though, our lawns, they're yellow, we've got no grass, but you know, in comparison to what they're going through down in the areas of France that are affected, it's pretty minuscule really, isn't it? You know, got to count our blessings. One final thing is also today I actually managed to get some runner beans. I actually got nearly a kilo of runner beans, first time. I can't believe it. I think it's because the temperatures have dropped, and because the flowers were coming but they just weren't staying on the plant, and they weren't getting pollinated and we weren't getting any beans. Suddenly the last week they started to actually grow, so fingers crossed it stays cooler and I can start harvesting some beans. That's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Take care and stay safe.